Oh, I didn't get kicked. I've been spending the last couple of weeks retuning some cars.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another Forza Motorsport video on our channel here at RVTV. It's been a little bit since I made one of these. I kind of took last week off because it was my birthday and we've just had a lot of stuff going on here at the ranch. But I digress. I've spent probably about, 16 to 18 hours on two different cars getting them tuned. I actually took about a second and a half to 2 seconds off my time. I tuned this car on Virginia International, and that's where we're at right now. We're on the full course. I tuned it on the North course, and actually this is probably one of the faster cars that I drove. What I did is I just kind of went through all the cars in this Forza GT class and took them for like 5 laps. And I found the cars that I was the fastest at, and then I took the 2 cars that I was the fastest at this course with, and then I just started tuning them and seeing how much more time I could take off of them. And I think it really helped. I went from being in like the top 10 positions to now I'm steadily fighting here at the front. You know, I can see the front runner here, and I'm battling it out with these guys right here. And that's kind of what I wanted, is just to have a more competitive car. I think ultimately I probably have another, I would say 2.5 seconds that I have to find. You see here, me and this guy are getting into it a little bit, and he is definitely fighting for his position back. You can see here he's definitely not afraid to get into it with me a little bit, and that's a little bit of a foreshadowing incident too, because you'll see me and him get into it a little bit later here in the race. This is just the first lap too. Everyone just kind of sorting themselves out. I'm just happy that I didn't get caught in traffic. I think that the top 5 position is the place to be. I think once you start getting a little bit further in that pack, you got to deal with a lot more bullies. You can see even at the front here, there's people that don't want to really give you their spaces, and this is a really good first lap for me. I'm right on this Porsche's butt the whole way through, going through these tight section of corners and getting back out on this straightaway here. This is a really long course. It's actually over 2.5 minutes each lap, and without the driving assist lines on, I still feel like I don't drive enough on this game to really kind of get into the rhythm of a lot of these courses. And like I said, I tuned this car for the North racetrack, and I wasn't quite familiar for this whole racetrack, and I kind of trained myself so that I can drive pretty fast on most racetracks. But you can just see that there's some spaces here where I'm kind of missing my apexes, and well, I'm coming up on this guy actually. I beat him into that corner, and I'm coming out. And I also, my tire conservation, I've noticed that I kind of wear tires out a lot quicker than some of these other drivers, and I don't know if that's due to me just putting a little bit too much throttle coming out of the corners, or what that could be related to. But oh, we're actually coming up on a race incident right here. So here you can see this Bentley and I are duking it out all the way through this set of chicanes going through here. This guy, he had actually just gotten back on the course after going off-road. I think he was in second before, and he's all over the place in that Lamborghini, and now I'm trying to catch up to him, but I know that Bentley is just right there. You can see he gives me a little bit of a left tap right there. Again, I am trying to figure out a way to get around this, I think it's the Huracan, the Lamborghini that's up in front of me, and we're going to be coming around this really fast left-hander here, and there's a horseshoe onto the back straight. And then at the end of the straight is where this incident happens that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about. Now this race, I could have very well had a podium on, and again, that's what I built these cars for. But one of the problems that we have here in Forza is that nobody wants to realize that they are a faster driver than you, and if they just have a little bit of patience, they could probably get caught back up to you and then even overtake you. And here's where these guys kind of screw up, and I catch back up to everyone. The Bentley's already around them. I get around this Porsche. I kind of tap this guy on the butt, and it sends me a little bit wide, and he just sends me right into the grass as he goes by, and just ruins my whole race. And there's just no need for that. And instead of having 5th place here, I think I ended up having to settle on like 7th place, which is fine. This is all a learning experience. I'm here to get better, but this guy was clearly faster than me. He was pulling ahead of me, and he had one more lap, you know. And you can see here, going around him, I don't think that I was out of place here. I did give that guy a little bit of a love tap. It sent me wide. I was off the throttle actually when he got a hold of me, and you can see that was very much him just pushing me off the course as he went by. And now I have to get back on and leave enough room for any traffic that's coming up behind me, because of course there's a car coming right up behind me, and there he goes. And now, instead of maybe fighting for a podium position, I'm just trying not to screw up here, and I follow this guy in, and that's where it's at. I just struggle to maintain seventh place for this whole race, I guess.
Well, that was fun. I'm all hot and sweaty for nothing. Here goes nothing.
Our next race is a night race at Suzuka in Japan. I think I qualified 8th here. This is another one of those cases where I'll go out and I'll put in what I think is a really fast time. And then the last 5 minutes of practice, I just watch my place just slowly get ticked down the list. But even though I started in 8th place here, I think I actually did fairly well. I picked up a few spaces before the end of the race, and night races are especially challenging for me because of my eyesight. I was born with congenital cataracts, so I just naturally can't really see that well at night, even in these driving games. And you can see here, there are times where my headlights seem like they're working and they're on the ground, and then there's shots where it seems like I don't have any headlights at all and I can't see. And it's kind of like that in the car too. I mean, you can see why isn't there more of a reflection on that guy's bumper where my headlights should be? You know, I know that they're yellow headlights. Anyway, I'm probably getting off a little bit into the weeds here. You can see I'm battling it out pretty back and forth. I'm making some contact here, but nothing that I think is super offensive. It's all just, you know, first lap bumps and just kind of figuring ourselves out. And I'm kind of following this Viper around this part of the track. It's a really tight track here around Suzuka, and finding places to pass is actually really hard. This hairpin I actually get in a race incident here in another couple of laps, you'll see. Another thing that it's kind of weird, someone will be in front of me and then all of a sudden they'll make a move that I can't respond to quick enough, and it's always in the middle of the corner, and I don't want to give too much away here before it happens, but yeah, just typical Forza drivers, I guess. I don't know how many other people race in my perspective. I traditionally race in an in-car cockpit view with a 32-inch curved monitor in front of me. And yeah, I mean, what you're seeing right now is exactly how I race. I have my Logitech wheel and pedal set up, so I can't necessarily see what's behind me or what's on my sides without those markers. And in this view, I don't have any braking notes, so when these guys are braking, I'm assuming that they're in like a third-person view, which is how a lot of people race, and they're also racing on controller. I just kind of sneak right by him there. I think he overtakes me again, yeah, they overtake me again a little bit. We go back and forth because they're just right on my butt here too. This is a really fun race. I kind of like races like this that are really close like this. I feel like I'm learning a lot here. These cars are pushing me, you know. I have to kind of get comfortable with where they're at. And this guy really wants around me, and I think coming up on this horseshoe, he actually does get around me. You can see right here are the race leaders. So this tune that I was working on really did help, and I am a lot closer to the front of the pack than I was previously. In the last couple of videos you saw, I was actually getting bumped around and beat up a lot more than I have been in these last 2 races. And yeah, he gets around me right here. Pretty fair and square. And then I'm just trying to chase him all the way through these back chicanes now. It's midnight, and as this race went on, the track got darker and darker, which also affected my driving. So I'm just trying to glue myself to his bumper, because I know if he gets too much further in front of me, I'll start to lose the road a little bit, and I'll slow down, and he'll actually claim that position. I'm just kind of hoping right now that I can get it back. We're going on a couple of fast corners right now, and then we got another hairpin coming up, and that's going to lead into the sharpest hairpin of the track. It's a left-hander coming up here. You can see he does something really crazy where he starts out really wide, and then he completely dives down in front of my line, and I can't react fast enough, and I ended up spinning him. And I'll show you this here in a different perspective. Just wait a second. Yeah, here we are. So I'm coming into here. We're going around this set of like really going into that sharp corner. You can see ahead of me is 4th and 3rd place. And we're going to come around this corner into the hairpin. I'm on the brakes now. He's kind of taking a wide line in there. I've sort of dived in, but then he just comes right down on me. It was so slow that I didn't know what to do, and I made contact with him and ended up spinning him around.
What the hell was that?
He didn't end up ever catching back up to me. For the most of the race, I was about 3 seconds ahead of my competition, so I was just trying to concentrate on running my line and saving my tires and not scorching everything. But there you go. Hope you guys like these videos. If you found any entertainment in it all, feel free to like and subscribe, do all that stuff. It really helps our channel out. Thanks. We'll see you again later. Bye.
I can take that. 5th place. Oh yeah.